1039 Proud FM. This is Your Morning with Richard and Chris, and joining us on the line, we have waited over 13 weeks for this moment. The Queen, the next drag superstar of the United States and Canada, in my opinion, Raja. Thank you so much.
Yay! Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Can you believe it's over?
I'm actually kind of glad that it's over. I've been having to hold on to the secret since August, and I've said a few times that it's like coming out of the closet for the second time, and it's just nice to get to talk freely about it now.
Since August, oh my gosh. I thought that a friend of mine was on another reality TV show, and it was like 4 months, but August, that's like 10 months of waiting.
It was, and it was one of the hardest things I had to do. I couldn't even share it with my family. My mom didn't even know about it.
You couldn't tell anyone that you were the next drag superstar. You were walking around with that secret for 10 months and nobody else knew. That must have been so awful.
Well, there were a lot of speculations out there, and people sort of assumed that I was the winner, and it was one of the hardest things to do is to just say, yes, I did. I couldn't do that. I had to just smile and nod,
Yeah. But before we get into the interview about what you're going to do next with your new crown, I just want to ask you, were you on America's Next Top Model?
Yeah, I worked on America's Next Top Model for 8 seasons, and 6 of those I was a key makeup artist on it. So I was the guy who was in charge of all their different photo shoots.
I knew it when I first saw RuPaul's Drag Race. I was like, I recognize him. Why do I recognize him? Oh my God, America's Next Top Model. And then it said you knew Tyra Banks, and I freaked out, and I was very excited. And I'm a beer fan.
Raja, I have a question for you. You were one of the older competitors in the competition this year. I mean, gracefully older. I was surprised actually to see your age. But you also have brought almost the new drag to the forefront of drag now. I mean, one of the debates that certainly went around Proud FM was, were you a drag queen or more of a stand-in modeler? And the thing that I liked watching you in the arc of the show was that you showed that performance is performance.
Right. And performance is it's all individual for every artist and every queen. So mine just happened to take on a lot of the influences that I've had of so many years of being in nightlife and really kind of delving into different worlds of drag. I've been in the club scene where it's just kind of the rock and roll kind of raw drag, and I've hung out with a bunch of transsexual prostitutes at Peanuts Club 7969 in Los Angeles. So I've had so many different influences. And being on Drag Race really allowed me the chance to take all of those amazing times and just kind of, show off what I know over so many years of doing drag.
Yes, because I think one of the things that RuPaul's Drag Race has done, it's not only just exposed drag to the world, but it's also made the drag community stand up and expose itself. And there are so many, like we do have the classic queens. Like I think Mimi I'm first represented that true classic queen, like just comical and over the top. And then we had people like you and Carmen Carrera that I think you're more of an artist. Carmen was a pretty girl, but we see a lot of those new queens now, and they're really more of a persona than a character.
Right.
And I think getting that opportunity to show the world that there are more facets to drag than just some guy in a beard walking through a pride parade.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, and the best feedback I've gotten was from all of my different friends from all the different worlds of drag, and they're like, wow, girl, you're really representing, and it's so rewarding to hear that, because I think it's about time, that people realize that drag isn't just that. I think there's so many different philosophies that happen within the different cultures of drag, and I think one of the funnest things I got to do was to be able to represent all those different ideas.
One question, it's a personal question. This is just me asking you. It's just us girls. Where the hell did you get that baseball hat with the acrylic word work across the front of it? I want one so bad, you have no idea. And if there isn't one out there in mass production, I think you should do a Raja line. I'm just saying.
That was made by my friend Chris Abana, who is based out of New York, and he's an amazing accessory designer. And I actually met him before I even went on Drag Race, and I'm a collector, and when I say collector, I mean hoarder. But I just hang on to really important little funny objects, and I always joke about my apartment looking like a cross between Villa Kula, Pippi Longstocking's house, and a touch of Grey Gardens. I think there's a raccoon living in my wall, but I love fun little objects, and it's one of my favorite things to do is just to wear kooky things, and you should check out Chris Abana.
Now, when you came into Drag Race on the very first day, were you a bit nervous because you saw all the other queens were a little bit more like RuPaul's form of drag?
Right. Well, I knew consciously going into it that first day was going to be the day that they, really screwed with us. Either they were going to douse us with water or set us on fire or make us, eat a bucket of bees or something really weird. And, and I just knew that I had to go in there comfortable, but at the same time looking very chic and, kind of, puzzling the girls a little bit, give a little bit of a reveal and just show that, there's, that drag can be a little bit abstract,
Did you, the one thing, you listed some of the things you were afraid of out of the gate that they would pull on you. What was the hardest challenge for you? What was the one that you just kind of looked at them and went, you're kidding?
The hardest challenge was probably doing that jock challenge where we had to make them over. It was one of those days where I just did not want to make anyone over. I spent most of my career as a makeup artist making people pretty, and the last thing I wanted to do was make this guy look pretty. I just didn't want to do it.
No.
And then to find out that he doesn't like music. I mean, deaf people like music.
Yeah,
so what's his deal? He was just so weird. And it was really hard, and it took everything within me to just be nice to this guy because all I wanted to do was just strangle him and make him wake up a little bit. Help me out here. You're going to make me lose. So that was definitely the hardest one.
So now that you're the loud and proud winner of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 3, what are you going to do? What's your next step?
I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I've been one of those people who really loves to experiment with new ideas, and I'm playing around with music right now. I've got a song called Diamond Crown Queen coming up, and that's going to be out on May 3rd. So I'm playing with a little bit of music. I'm thinking about writing some stuff, maybe a beauty book that's geared towards, kids who really just want to know how to do kooky and glam makeup, and
that's a good
I've got
idea.
so many different ideas, and this is the perfect opportunity for me to get to play with all of them.
And that was one thing that I want to mention, that over and over in the competition, you were referring back to that little boy who was afraid to be different, and you want to inspire. I think that's an amazing way to do that by writing a book. What are some of the other ways that you will want to reach out to the younger gay generation?
I think the best thing to do for me at this point is just to keep myself out there, make sure that they always have this beacon to look forward to, much like the way I did with RuPaul. And this competition and the fact that I won it has, it's giving me that platform to do that, because Ru was such a huge influence when I was a young boy, and I would love to play that same role for a lot of kids who are still trying to discover who they are as artists or just as people in general. And I think above and beyond winning $75,000 and winning a title, I think the best part of this whole process is getting to reach out and talk to and receiving the emails and hearing stories of kids who are, going through their struggles. And, if I can help in any way, I can probably help best by just setting a great example and continually being out there.
Well, whether you influence the next top drag superstar or the next top model, you certainly have improved my stomp. And I'm so proud for you. I think you really rocked it. You were a true individual through the entire contest. No one will forget you, and we look forward to seeing you pop up on next season, definitely. And if not, I will slap RuPaul myself.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate spending time with you guys.
Thank you so much, Raja.
Best of luck and continued success.
All right, take good care and model through it.